Well, the markets are holding at around that 17,200 odd mark. But one stock that spiked up in the last few minutes is Hindustan Zinc. Just pull up the intraday chart. It's moved to the high point of the day, up close to around 5% odd. Float is very, very minimal, keep in mind, because, the promoter entity as well as Government of India, they hold 95-96% stake in the company. Depend your view on Hindustan Zinc, or maybe we could talk about Vedanta actually, because they would be the ones that would be gaining from the dividend payout from Hindustan Zinc.
See, I think the real problem in Vedanta is the debt at the promoter level. And because of that, the management has been making several sharp moves as to how they can get the money out of its highly profitable subsidiary companies to service the debt which they have at the promoter level. And partly, they have been successful, but at some times they have been caught on the wrong foot as well, especially when they have transferred loans from subsidiary company to holding company. That's not been well received by the market. But per se, in times like this, when commodity prices are moving up, Vedanta clearly is a major beneficiary, considering that it has, invested in a lot of the mining type of businesses with considerable amount of backward integration. And at present, I would say it's amongst the cheapest materials company per se. So if you have some amount of comfort level as far as management's corporate governance standards are concerned, then I think maybe you could have a good trading play in Vedanta and even Hindustan Zinc for that matter, where clearly there is scope for price to earnings multiples to move up. But hopefully we won't have any kind of a shock coming in from the promoters in terms of any other moves which they make on the corporate side. So keeping that risk factor in mind, I feel that the Vedanta as well as Hindustan Zinc are at attractive levels, and they may be able to sustain earnings going forward on account of lower interest rates and higher volumes. And if the P multiples start to inch up, then you could have some serious outperformance.
Okay, Deepan, we'll have to thank you on that note. Thanks a lot for joining us and have a good weekend. Well, let's now start wrapping up the day's action. For the week, the Nifty is going to go home with 1% gain. The mid-cap index also with about 1% gain. So weekly, still a green candle. But really, today was all over the place. And today we lost practically all the gains of yesterday's trade. In terms of stocks, the big drag happened from the two biggest stocks, Reliance and HDFC Bank. Apart from that, there was selling pressure from other names as well, like Kotak Mahindra Bank, which was down about 2.5%. ITC was down about close to 2%. Asian Paints was down 2.5%. HDFC Life and SBI Life were down. Even Bharti Airtel, relatively stronger stock, was weak today. Pargrid, by the way, was the top loser, down about 4%. But Pargrid has been one of the stocks which has been resilient. It's been a stock closer to 52-week highs than lows. Sun Pharma did see some selling. Bajaj Finance and Finserv, they were down. Bajaj Auto, in fact, all the auto pack, all the stocks were down over there. On the way up, not too many, at least not too many which count. So UPL was up about 2%, BPCL, IOC, ONGC, none of these stocks really have a large weight in the index. Perhaps L&T, which was up about 3/4%. But suffice to say, I think it's a market which is still trying to find some kind of direction, perhaps still trying to negotiate all the headlines and all the news. That's what explains the kind of moves, both side moves that we've seen today.
So large caps basically underperforming. I mean, if you look at the small cap index, it's up 0.75% today. You look at the mid cap index, it's barely down, whereas the Nifty lost, 1% or so. So this is largely showing up and it's showing up on market breadth as well, which is positive with the Nifty down 200 points. Not by much, by about 100 stocks, but still positive. So let me just take stock of what else was up. Clean Tech was up 7%. Poonawalla Finance up 5%. All large volumes. Fluorochem is up another 8% after yesterday's very large move. AB Capital is up about 5%. Hindustan Zinc 5%. Inox Wind about 10-11%, La Opala 7%, lots and lots of names in the broader space which did just fine and actually did very well. So, mid caps and small caps really outperforming and outshining. Nigel.
Well, that's right. A few stocks. JBM Auto add to the list. That stock did pretty well in today's trading session, was up and about in trade. Walchal Nagar, well, we don't talk about the stock very, very often, but that one was up close to around 15% as well. Neogen Chemicals as well did have a big up move in today's trading session. And maybe pull up a couple of other names. Precision Camshaft should come up for you. Well, that stock as well was flying away. Remember, for this week itself, it's seen, in the last 10 days or so, it's moved very, very swiftly from around 120 all the way to around 145 rupees. Precision camshaft is the one that we're talking about. Big move is what we saw on that one as well all through the week. Well, Monte Carlo on the flip side was on the losing end. Well, that stock was down close to around 7%. You had Timken India as well that did see some selling, ending with a cut of close to around 6% odd. And Trident as well, that was under some pressure. But fair to say that by the end of the week, well, it appears that the Nifty bulls were a little bit tired. So the Nifty ended virtually at the low point of the day at around the 17,200 odd mark. There was just some green on the mid-cap index. Well, that's it from the team on Closing Bell. Wishing you guys a good weekend, but we'll only be wrapping up on the show. On the other side, what are some themes that investors should be focusing on? But we'll track the investment trajectory beyond India with our line of experts on our special Friday offering, Smart Money. You stay with us.